Hi, gentlemen. This book goes a little bit more in depth about the life cycle of a frog. So I thought I'd read it to you. You might get to see some more pictures and get some more information in case you're interested. And it even has chapters. So sometimes you might see something that says contents or table of contents, and then it gives you a chapter and what page each chapter begins on. So this chapter says chapter 1, all about frogs, and it tells us which page it starts on, page 4. Let's go find page 4. There it is. Chapter 1, all about frogs. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. It's time to learn all about the lives of frogs. Frogs breathe with their lungs on land. Frogs breathe through their skin underwater. Frogs belong to an animal group called, can you think of it? Amphibians. This type of animal spends part of its life on land and part of it on water. Here is a picture of a frog. Its eyes are on the top of its head. This helps the frog see above water. Its feet are webbed. This helps the frog to swim. And in this picture, someone labeled the parts of the frog. So you can see there's the eyes, the nostril, its ear. Isn't that funny to think of a frog having an ear? I'll show that to you in our Zoom room one day, a picture. But if you look really closely, it has an ear. It's sort of this round thing on the side of it. It's called a tympanum. They have feet, and there is its skin. Frogs have big eyes. Frogs have webbed feet. But frogs do not start out looking this way. Keep reading to learn about their fantastic life cycle. So here we are in chapter 2, egg to tadpole. A frog begins its life inside an egg. Female frogs lay eggs in the water. Some lay 4,000 eggs at one time. A frog egg looks like this. So you can see there's like 4,000 of them, and there's one really close up. After a few weeks, the eggs hatch. Out swim tiny tadpoles. A tadpole does not look like a frog at all. It has a long tail and no legs. A newborn tadpole looks like this. The tadpole cannot leave the water. It behaves kind of like a fish. It breathes through its gills. So when it's a tadpole, it doesn't breathe air like we do that goes into our lungs. It has gills just like a fish on the side of its face. Fish, clams, and tadpoles all have gills. The tiny tadpole gets bigger and bigger. When it is about 7 weeks old, it grows little back legs. And so you can see right there, that is its back leg. As the tadpole grows, its lungs grow. Lungs will help it to breathe air. Chapter 3, froglet to frog. The tadpole changes a little each day. When it is about 10 weeks old, it grows tiny front legs. This is a front leg. After about 3 months, the tadpole turns into something called a froglet. It looks a lot like a frog, but it still has a tail. Every day, the tail gets smaller and smaller. This older froglet has a very small tail. One day, the tail is all gone. Wow! About 4 months after hatching, the froglet is finally a grown-up frog. And this says a frog's skin looks like this. Hop, hop, hop. Now the frog is ready to live on land as well as in the water. This fact says a frog can jump 20 times the length of its body. So if you went 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way out to 20, that's how far a frog can jump. Life cycle review. Here we go. Day 1, a female frog lays an egg in the water. There it is. 2 weeks later, a tadpole hatches. It grows and changes. 3 months later, the tadpole turns into a little froglet. And 4 months later, a froglet turns into a growing frog. A frog's life cycle lasts about 4 months. Do you remember the 4 main parts? Take a peek. Egg, tadpole, froglet, frog. Frogs live like this, can live to be 10 years old. All grown up. Oh my goodness, look at the size of that frog. Frogs come in all different sizes. Some are as small as crickets. Others are as big as cats. This huge frog is called a Goliath frog. Frogs come in lots of colors too. Many are green, but others are red, yellow, and even bright blue. There's a red-eyed tree frog. This one's called a tomato frog, a golden leaf folding frog. This one's called a poison dart frog. You probably don't want to, if you were an animal, you probably wouldn't want to eat that one. There are even flying frogs. Well, sort of. They leap from trees and glide to the ground so smoothly, it looks like they are flying. This fact says there are 4,000 different kinds of frogs in the world. Lots of frogs make noises. Some males puff up their throats like little balloons. Then they sing croak, croak, croak. This is called its vocal sac, that big thing that puffs out, and it's a gray tree frog. Male frogs use their singing to find female frogs. When they meet, the whole life cycle can begin all over again. And this is interesting. Female frogs, girl frogs, are usually bigger than male frogs than boy frogs. Who knew? That was a really interesting book. Can you name and describe 2 parts of a frog? Let me think. Oh, I can think of 2 parts. Eyes and legs. Do you know 3 things about tadpoles? Let's think. They don't have legs. They have gills. And they swim like fish. Can you think of 3 words to describe a frog? I'll let you think. Hope you enjoyed Frog Life Cycle. See you guys later.